Thank you, Vedika ji. That was very informative. Our next speaker is Dr. Abhaya Asthana ji. He will be talking to us on Portrayal of Hindu Dharma in USA. What needs to be done? That will be really interesting, Abhaya Asthana ji. Abhaya Asthana ji is a fellow at Nokia Bell Labs, directing research in cognitive, self-reliable networks of the future. Networks that continuously learn on their own and heal themselves. Earlier, he led the design of VLSI processor at Intel. He got his bachelor's degree in electronic engineering from IIT Kanpur, where he went back to teach from 1983 to 1985. Outside of science and technology, his passion is to learn about Hindu Dharma and history, practice it, and pass it on to the children. That is wonderful, Abhaya. His mission is to help Hindus living in America remain Hindus, and through their values, contribute to the richness of their adopted land. He is a chairman and past president of World Hindu Council of America, that is WHP America. He was the coordinator of World Hindu Congress 2018 in Chicago, USA. Dr. Abhaya Asthana ji.
Namaste. Is this better? Good. So, first of all, I would like to thank the organizers and especially Nachiketa for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts with you on this subject. And next slide. So, according to the latest data, over 4 million Hindus live in the United States, with thousands more added each year. They carry with them rich histories and cultures that interplay with the fabric of the diaspora and the adopted land. So portrayal of Hindu Dharma in USA is positive on one side, but quite negative and ugly on the other. The footprints of Hindu philosophy in America are subtle and have existed for over 2 centuries. Today, decidedly, there is a growing positive undercurrent and respect and support for Hindu Dharma. But having said that, Hindu Dharma remains poorly understood in America, and there is prejudice against it in the public square. The Americans at large are influenced by the portrayal of Hindu Dharma by the mainstream media, by public officials, and by their own community and evangelical leaders. The media and academia not only continue to ignore the Hindu community, but perpetuate long-held stereotypes, misrepresentations, and misappropriations. Lastly, the truly motivated anti-Hindu agents, including Christian Dalits, Islamists, and leftist liberals, unsparingly spew hatred and venom on the Hindu people and their traditions. Some of this is quite overt and violent. Some of it is cloaked and silent. All along, the majority American population remains indifferent, ignorant, ill-informed, and unaware. So give you, next slide please. I don't expect you to read this, but to give you a little background, these racist attacks have existed since the 20th century, early 20th century. Hindus and Sikhs were driven out of Washington state as early as 1907. Laws were enacted to curtail the immigration of non-Christians. Later, laws were changed out of compulsion to allow immigration of only 100 per year. Only in 1965, America allowed immigration based on preference instead of religion. But attacks continue, despite all good things that Hindus have brought with them. Earlier, it was because of ignorance, and today, it is motivated because of fear, jealousy, and hatred. Next, please. The impact of Hindu Dharma on America, the extent and scale of the impact, the nature of the impact, and the adaptations that took place are remarkable. The dharmic traditions are silently transforming USA. The adaptability of the Dharma has played an important role in its sustenance. The advent of yoga, kirtan, and the change in demographics, with the Hindus taking visible, powerful roles in America, increased the momentum and breadth of how Hindu precepts and customs expanded their reach in the USA. There has been migration of ideas from Hindu philosophy into the mainstream literature, lifestyle, and films like Star Wars, Matrix, and Avatar. The exponential rise of accessibility to teachers with YouTube and Facebook, TV channels, Zoom, and online live platforms has increased the reach many folds. The much acclaimed article by Lisa Miller, "We Are All Hindus Now," highlighted the reality that Americans are slowly becoming more like Hindus in their thinking. Spiritual but not religious, I think he was mentioning that earlier, is a trend in the youth today. Increasing awareness and practice of yoga, meditation, vegetarianism, holistic living, reincarnation, and cremation is a testimony to this. Celebration of festivals such as Holi, Deepavali, Garbha, Bhangra are in vogue across the college campuses. The Hindu temples and ashrams, swamis, gurus have played a very crucial role in this process. While the temples served as live architectural marvels, the ashrams became center of learning and self-discovery, a place where teachers who have answers. Art of Living, Isha Foundation, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, Amma, Osho, Hinduism Today, and ISKCON are just a few examples. Most of the Hindu family, the Hindu family is very important. The Hindu family continues to be an example of aspirations, values, and stability. Alternative medicine, technology industry, businesses, movies, study of consciousness, mind sciences, quantum physics, relativity, cosmology, and practices and principles in the Gita. They are all examples of the impact of Hindu Dharma in America. Next slide, please. So, Hindu phobia is an exaggerated, inexplicable, illogical fear of the Hindu that is relentlessly portrayed by the academia and the media as an existential threat to others. What could possibly be the source of fearing the Hindus in USA, when mostly they are well educated, serve as doctors, engineers, scientists, technologists, entrepreneurs, business persons, teachers, and professors? In reality, the fear is not of the person Hindu, but of Hindu Dharma itself. The core thoughts, values, traditions, the life view that drive the Hindu to aspire and excel. Therefore, it is the philosophical core of the Hindu civilization that needs to be mocked, stereotyped, caricatured, and devalued. Some do it in ignorance, and some out of deliberate arrogance. The departments of study of ancient Bharat, Indology, and South Asian studies in the West are the last bastions of colonialism today. They, along with media and the evangelists, are the source of all misconceptions, misrepresentation, and the caste, cow, karma portrayals in the school textbooks and the mass-produced hate-mongering literature. The popularity of yoga and meditation into a deep-rooted aversion. So, skyrocketed to a multi-billion-dollar industry. But as yoga became the mainstream in American culture, its Hindu roots have been ignored and delinked. Next slide, please. So in the extreme, the fear morphs into a deep-rooted aversion, repulsion, or hatred towards Hindu and Hindu Dharma. The hatred turns into microaggressions, racist slurs, destruction, and desecration of Hindu sacred spaces. Targeted violence towards Hindu people, community institutions, and organizations. The anti-Hindu rhetoric reduces Hindu Dharma to a rigid, oppressive, and regressive tradition. Because of these repeated attacks, many Hindus become embarrassed, ashamed of their Hindu heritage. Many feel pressured to distance themselves from their heritage, even actively participate in denigrating and devaluing Hindu Dharma. Next slide, and this is the last slide. So, what needs to be done? In summary, the Hindu Dharma remains poorly understood in America, public square. Hindus continue to face xenophobic prejudice from their fellow Americans, and here are 4 strategic steps we can take to address this problem. Create a sustainable, coordinated, well-funded ecosystem consisting of Bollywood filmmakers, social media experts, writers, academicians, media experts, and policymakers. 2, increase the presence, relevance, and influence of the Hindu community through philanthropy, outreach, integration, and generating goodwill. Be vigilant, educate, and raise awareness through a team of Hindu ambassadors. Identify, call out, and legislate against the key players and stakeholders who institutionalize and perpetuate Hindu hatred. And 4th, importantly, fix the problem at source in Bharat: the educational system, the legal system, and the social system in Bharat today. So this is a longitudinal, generational effort. We must balance our gaze between inward focus and outward focus. Only we, the ordinary Hindus, can do it by living and acting as real Hindus. Namaste.